on, everybody? It is your boy Dano. Welcome to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. And I'm so excited and so grateful for you to be here right now. If you're watching live or if you're watching on the replay, leave a comment. Let me know which one you're doing right now. If you're watching in the replay, if you're watching live, it does not matter. If you're watching from Australia, if you're watching from the UK, if you're watching from the US, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to bring you another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. And man, so we don't have a formal guest for today, but we're going to do an absolute free-for-all, everybody. So what I'm going to do is I already dropped the stream, the link to the stream to come onto the show just to talk about anything that might be on your mind for today. I had to reschedule the guest for today last minute. Something popped up. You know what? It be like that sometimes. So today we're gonna go completely unscripted. Not that any other episode is scripted anyway, but today is just gonna be, whatever goes, whatever flows. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be one of those days. And also, in addition to if you're watching live or if you're watching on the replay, please, you guys are already beating me to it, man. This is why my positivity posse is the best, man. I don't care any other ones, man. Those are frauds. Those are fakes. The real deal is right here in the building because I already know what's going on before I even had to say it. But I'm gonna say it for the people who it may be your first time, and maybe not. Who knows? But this is for you. Drop a hashtag positivity posse just to make sure that I know that you're rocking with me right now, that you're enjoying all of this great content. And yeah, so today I'm gonna be honest with you guys. There is absolutely no theme for today. We just wanted to. I wanted to try something new, just to test my limits, just to see what we can talk about. Whoever wants to come on, like I said, you are more than welcome to come on. I dropped the link in the stream for you for all the brave souls out there. But in the meantime, for everybody, you know what? I think I'm able to pin that comment as well. But you know what? I'm gonna post it again. Why not? And here we go. So yeah, you know what? It happens. Everything, it's like we always say on the Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Everything happens. Everything happens. Well, yeah, that is very true too. Everything does happen for a reason, but everything is a lesson or a blessing. So I think today might be one of those lessons, or it might be a blessing. Who knows? It could be a blessing in disguise. But as long as we keep that positive attitude, we already know that positive outcomes are going to come from having that positive attitude. So it's going to be, like I said, a free-for-all. Anybody who wants to come on, you're more than welcome to come on and talk about anything that's on your mind. But in the meantime, I have some things that, we always got to do when it comes to having the Weekly Dose of Dano episode. The positive affirmations. I've actually been writing more and more. I think I shared that with you guys last time. I don't know where it's been coming from, but man, I've just been taking a pen. I've been taking a piece of paper, and we just been going at it because I can tell you guys, I really don't like writing things down, and I don't know why. It's just I always thought, it's kind of corny. It's just like it's just not something that I'm really interested in doing. But now, when I've read about all the benefits and all the positive sides, and all the great things that come from writing, I've just been trying to do it a little bit more and more. But so we're gonna be getting to that in a little bit. Everybody, calm down. I know y'all hyped for it. I'm gonna give it to you guys too, but. It's just going to be a completely, and I'm also going to be sharing about some things that have been going on in my life, or some instances or scenarios that have happened to me. And you guys, I want you guys to share yours too, or what your thoughts and your opinions might be on it. So let's start with the with the weekly affirmation for the week. And here we go. So here it is, affirmations for happiness. And like we always do, we're going to pick a random page. I feel like, I don't know, something's telling me to go towards the back today. Let's see. I think I already did that one. That's why I had to turn the page. So, all right, here it is, number 172. I allow myself to see the miracles all around me. Every breath I take is its own tiny miracle. I'm ready to start noticing these miracles in my daily life so I can give this life the proper thanks that it deserves. It's a miracle to be alive. What more do I need in order to be happy? And wow, that's actually, so here's the daily affirmation. Like I said, I'm going to show you guys too. Here it is. Every breath that I take is its own tiny miracle. And that's been one of the things that's actually what I wrote about. congruent with what I wrote about with this one-page thing. I mean, when I write these too, I'll let you guys know. It's in the middle of the night. I'm usually stay up really late. I'm an owl. I'm a nocturnal being. That's when I get all my work done too. I don't, and, if there's anybody else that's like that, you know, and you know what, that too. I also, you're being inspired, and so your creativity is flowing and coming through. Yeah, I always feel like mine comes through always in the late, the late times of the night. And I feel that way because everything is silenced. Like, you don't have the cars going around, you don't have people blowing up your phone, you don't have any distractions. I feel like that's when you're really able to tap into yourself. And for the people that are that way, but for some people, they might like the morning time, or they might do it in the middle of the day, whatever works best for you. But I just know that works for me. But wow, that's very congruent to what I wrote in my stuff too about you woke up today. So that's the ultimate blessing. That's the ultimate miracle that you have. And a lot of people, we kind of get lost in the hustle and bustle in the everyday life. But always remember that if you woke up today, then you won the day, and it is a blessing. So if you woke up, you can really get through anything, and it's not fluff. You really can get through anything as long as you find the bright side to everything and find that silver lining, because not every day you're going to spend down here. They say that your emotions are like seasons. Some days it's going to be rainy. Some days it's going to be sunny. Some days it's going to be snow and it's going to be windy. It doesn't matter, but nothing ever stays the same. So if you're in one spot in your life, if everything's going great for you, give gratitude. Say thanks. Wow, everything's going great in my way. I remember the times when it wasn't going so well. And then alternatively, or conversely, on the other side, if things aren't going so well for you, just know that you're not going to be in that place forever, and that you do have hope, and there are goals that you want to achieve, and there's people that you still need to meet, and there's opportunities that you still need to grab that need to come to you. So just give them time to develop too, because everything is a lesson or a blessing. We got hashtag blessed. That's what I'm talking about, man. Y'all need to be coming with the same energy like that. I'm an early bird, definitely, and I tried to be. Maybe I didn't give it enough time, because I remember I was reading the book, The 5 a.m. Club, and I actually shared it with you guys as well. And I did it for about, I'm going to be honest with you guys, maybe 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks consecutively, right? And they say that it takes way more than that. I believe it's about somewhere between 60 days in order for a habit to say, to make it a lifetime, to turn that habit into a lifestyle, is what I'm trying to say. And I only gave it 2 weeks, but in those 2 weeks, I did get a lot accomplished. But I just feel like, I don't know, it just wasn't for me. I was pretty tired, and it was good. So if that's for you, more power to you. But I like to stay up at night. So I'm actually going to read this to you guys too. One of the things that I wrote when I was late at night, because it perfectly aligns with everything that we just talked about for the daily affirmation. So it's coming up 2 times. So this may be for somebody. I know this is for me, definitely, because I like to really reiterate these points. So if this resonated with you, it's coming up 2 times for a reason, and it's not by an accident. Like I said, everything is meant to happen for a reason. So that was the book. Now I'm going to read you guys what I wrote, and it is perfectly in alignment. So here it is. When it comes to being happy, make sure you relish the small moments in time. Shoot, even relish the small wins. When your car turns on with no issues, the moment where you have to repeat a song because it is so good, the moment where you receive a funny gift or a funny text from someone that's really, really close to you, the first bite of a meal you really enjoy, the first breath you take when you open your eyes. See, you guys see what I'm talking about here? I swear to you, I didn't have this plan. The moment, like I said, the first breath you take when you open your eyes. And you want to know what's the biggest win of them all? The first breath you take when you open your eyes in the morning. Today could be the day where the blessing or the opportunity you've been asking for is delivered into your reality. If receiving something you've been, and this is when I started, this pen, when I got to this part, the pen was going through a paper because I was going, so hard. So here it is. If receiving something you've been asking for doesn't excite you, then number one, you got to ask for something bigger. Or number two, you have to remove the doubt completely. Because if you don't think that you're going to get it, you're right. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're 100% right. If you don't think you're going to receive that blessing, then you're not going to get it. And here it is, the conclusion. Go into the world today and smile strong. The thing you've been asking for just might depend on it. So that's for you guys right there. I hope I hit somebody that meant to see that, or that they were that they needed to hear that as well, because like we know, even today, like today's a rainy day, and we all know that the weather can have certain effects on us. You know what I mean? I know, like when daylight saving times, when we lose an hour of sleep and it gets dark at like 5 o'clock, that plays a toll, on your mental health and even your physical health too. But just you know, like I was sorry, I just read this comment right here, and yeah, I love that. Remove the doubt, claim that it is yours, 100%. We need to believe in ourselves just to see that, hey, maybe what could go right. Stop always looking at the negative side of things, and stop saying, oh, but this person has a lot of money, so they're able to do that, or this person has a certain type of car, they're able to do this. Yo, that is all noise. All right, that's the noise from the outside world that's coming into your body and that's coming into your mind. So we want to eliminate all of that as possible. Here we go. Hashtag gratitude. And yeah, you know what? I'm even gonna put this one on the screen too. Somebody said no. No to what? What are we saying no for? You don't even have an exact thing that you're saying no to. No, no to what? No that you're not gonna limit yourself for today, or no that you're not gonna receive your blessing. You got to be more specific about that. And that's kind of a perfect segue too. A lot of people ask for certain things to come about in their life, and they do receive it, but they just are not specific enough about it. So I'll give you an example. A lot of people, and I believe I saw Tony Robbins talk about this one too. And he talks about people that say, hey, well, I want a certain amount of money. Like, I want more money to be brought into my life. Like, that's what I really want to manifest. And that's all that they say, so that when they go into their real world, they receive 50 cents on the streets. Or this actually happened to me. I was going to the vending machine and I bought, a drink. I bought a Powerade is what it was. And I reached into the coin thing and I received more change than I thought I was going to get. So, technically the universe did bring me what I asked for. I did ask for more money at that exact moment. But you always got to remember to be specific. If you want an extra $20,000 to come to your life, to come into your existence, one, don't worry about where it's going to come from. Like, it can come from a donation. It can come from a gift. It can come from literally any point in this universe. I mean, any time and space, just make sure that you're always believing that it's going to come to you without any doubt. So one, be specific. Two, always believe. And, you might be surprised at what happens when you take those two things seriously. Because a lot of people say, well, tomorrow's going to be the day where, I change my diet and I'm going to lose, 100 pounds or 30 pounds or whatever the amount may be. But then they only do it or they even just say they make it very broad. They say, I'm going to lose weight. Well, you lost a pound, you lost 3 pounds in the next week, and then 5. And then you stop getting after it because you think to yourself, hey, well, I lost some weight. But you got to give yourself specific goals. Make sure that, these goals are measurable and that they're, realistic too. Don't think that, $100 million is going to come to you by tomorrow. I mean, you got to provide a service. You got to give an exchange. What are you providing to everybody? What are you providing to the world for you to get that value? And that value doesn't mean you have to bust your ass and work every day just to do it. And here we go. Here's a comment. One has to believe it. Too many people don't believe. And because of that resistance, they don't get what they desire. Be open and in the least resistant mode. Yes, 100%. And I'm going to drop this in the comments for you guys too. Just to let you know, if you're brave enough, come on the show, talk about anything that's been going on in your mind. We had to reschedule the guest, but that is okay because, like I said, everything is a lesson or a blessing. So, it's going to be one of those days today. So I thought that was very interesting, though, how the affirmation for today really matched in alignment with what I wrote down. And it's things like that happen all the time on the regular where, a lot of people might think it's coincidence or it might be luck or maybe random. I don't believe in that, but, that's just a real world example and an example on the show that, just to show you guys that I'm not making this stuff up. I mean, this stuff always happens on the regular. And, Yeah, it's just a part of normal everyday life now, and I'm just so grateful to be able to recognize these synchronicities. Even when you look at the clock and it says 555 or 333, if you're driving on the road and you look at somebody's license plate and you see an angel number that says 222, I mean, it can be anything. So just make sure. And I don't know if you guys ever have this too. There's one more example I want to share with you because I know you've experienced this before. You guys ever go about in public and let's just say you're at the mall, right? You're walking by, you're minding your business, you got, your bag from whatever store you like to shop at, Hot Topic or, Spencer's or Foot Locker, wherever it may be. You're walking and everything just seems to be at a normal level, audibly. And you're just walking, and you're thinking about something. You're like, wow, like, let's just say, give you an example. What should I get to eat? You know what? I'm gonna give you a real world example because it just clicked right now. I don't want to talk about hypotheticals and all of that because I think that if you talk about hypotheticals, then the conditions need to be right and it has to be a certain way. No, I'm gonna give you a real world example. So I'm going to the gym, right? I like to go to the edge. So I'm at the gym and I'm working on chest and tries, right? And I'm hungry. I didn't eat beforehand. And as I'm getting close to, finishing everything, I'm in the sauna. And that's always what I like to conclude it with. I'm sitting in the sauna and I'm like, what should I get to eat? Like, I don't want something that's like fast food. Well, it is fast food, but I don't want anything that's just bad, like that's super greasy or that I'm going to regret eating later at night. So I'm sitting there, listening to some music, and something tells me to go to Boston Market. And I'm thinking Boston Market, like who goes there? Like the food is good, don't get me wrong, but I don't know why that was the first thing to come to my mind. So I was like, you know what? All right, let's go there. So I look at the time and it says they close at 11. So I arrive a few minutes down the road, I'm driving, just thinking, all right, well, I'm thinking about what I'm gonna get. I'm about to say, yo, this food is about to slap. I know it's gonna be so good. So I get there at around 10:10, and they says on the on the Google Maps that they close at 11. So I park the car, get out, go into the store, and there's nobody in there, like customer wise. But I see two people working behind the counter, and they look at me and they go, hey, well, are you picking up for DoorDash or are you picking up a to-go order? And I'm like, no, like I'm not doing anything like that. And they go, well, just to let you know, we close at 10. Like, how are you even able to get in? I thought I locked the door. So when I go in, like, I open the door like nothing was wrong. Like, I see 11. I'm like, all right, well, it says 11. So guy asked me, how are you even able to get in? Like, I I thought I locked the door. I was like, no, I just walked right in. So he was like, all right, you know what? Since you seem like a nice guy, I'm gonna just, I'm gonna take your order for you, and then, you could just pay at the end. So I said, I want a half a chicken meal. I want my mashed potatoes with the gravy, and I want my mac and cheese. So I go to the end of the line, and he goes, you know what, man? Don't even worry about it. Here, it's on the house. So I was like, you sure? Like, I'll pay for it. I don't mind. And he was like, yeah, like, don't worry about it. Like, have a good night. And I say, thank you so much. But the point of that story is one, yes, while I got free food, I listened to my first original thought because, we always say, and I always like to believe that when we listen to our original thought, that's our spirit inside of us always telling us what is right from wrong. We say that our first mind is linked to the creator and to the universe because see, all of this stuff starts to get a little philosophical because they say that our consciousness is interwoven with everybody else's consciousness in the world and everybody in the universe. And, that's what I firmly like to believe because when I always think about my first thought, it's always the right thing. And I can give you, yeah, it was a blessing to get that free food. But, I actually decided to listen to myself and say, all right, I'm just going to go over there. But, I always feel like our first mind, we always know what's right to begin with. And if that example didn't resonate with you, I'll give you one more example. Have you ever gone, everybody's been to school and we've taken exams. And let's just say we're stuck on one question that we really don't know what the answer is. But we're like, okay, A is the first one that popped in my head because I think that's the right answer. So we write down A. and we take our eraser and we scratch it off. And we go, no, 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 no. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to change my mind and go with the letter B. So then once we get the test back and we get the exams back, it ended up being A in the first place. And then you end up kicking yourself in the butt because you're like, like I already knew what the answer was. I don't know why I changed my answer. And it's from that question that we will find the answer, where you say, oh, I don't even know why I changed it. See, man, I knew. It's because you had that doubt and you had that resistance that you didn't really believe on what, on what your intelligence, or you didn't believe that you knew the right answer, but you knew all along. And I feel like with this world, we've kind of been programmed to think that way. You know what I mean? Whether it comes from, media, whether it comes from music. And, I just want to touch on one more point before I read this comment, is that, don't ever let I think Steve Jobs said this too, is don't ever let the world from the noise from the outside world start to mess up the noise, or start to mess up the voice in your inner world. Because, as we already know, we do know we're smart. Everybody's smart. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from. Everybody knows right from wrong. And we always have that voice inside of us to guide us in the right direction. And that's why it's the gut feeling. Everybody's gut feeling is always right. It's called first instincts, and that's our guidance system showing us and directing us on the right path. Always go with the first choice. Yes, 100%. I believe that 100%. David Vardaman, I'm grateful that I do not have to take any more multiple choice tests. Well, you know what? These tests might not show up on paper, David, but I feel like this was the easy part. I wish I can go back to take multiple choice tests, because think about it. All you have to do is go home, study for a few hours, go take the test. And then usually that's on a Thursday. And then Friday is movie day, where you can really take it easy and you can start to enjoy the weekend. I wish I can go back to the multiple choice test. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really wish that, because, I just feel like life now is so much more. There's so much more meaning to it than when we're younger. I feel like when we're younger, we just kind of go through the motions, and we don't really take anything serious because we're young and we think we're invincible, and that nothing's really going to happen to us. But you know what? These tests, they may not be in the form of paper, but we always do face tests on a day-to-day basis. I mean, we have the choice to take the left path or the right path. We have a choice to brush our teeth and take a shower, or take a shower then brush our teeth. We all have our free will. We have our decisions. Now, I know a lot of people may not agree with this, or they may agree with this. Let me know what you think about this. But I think every little decision that we do make will alter our future, right? If we think, hey, well, maybe I should eat this salad versus this fried chicken. Now, two choices or two outcomes, and your reality is going to come from these two choices. So always make sure that you're being mindful of that. Do you guys believe that too, that every little decision that you do make plays a role in the future? The way that I think about it is that you'll make a decision now, and then once you run into that decision later on down the line, it will manifest into that decision and that vibration and that frequency that you are when you made that decision, if that makes sense for you guys too. Like I said, I feel like there's an infinite amount of things and realities and choices that we can make and that we should make. But sometimes we don't always make the right decision as well. But that's okay, because that comes with experience. And now for next time, hey, well, maybe I shouldn't touch that stove because it's super hot. So right now, you already know we're halfway through the program. That was pretty quick, that first half hour. Excuse me. We're halfway through the program. We're just going to hear a quick word from our sponsors. And then when we come back, like I said, don't think I forgot it. I'm going to post it again for everybody that's right there. I'm dropping the link right here. And anybody, if you want to come on, you can come on and talk about anything that you want. And we're just going to talk about, it's going to be easy discussion, So, like I said, just come on, talk about it. We're going to hear a quick word from our sponsors. If you're brave enough, I'm hoping to see one of these screens pop up. And don't go anywhere. Share this amazing content. And here is just a quick word from our sponsors. Let's get it, man. Let's go.
except I received this insight about a title called Prisoner of War. The book.
Thank you. That's just a quick word from our sponsors. As you guys noticed in the beginning of the episode, I decided to play the Power of We Symposium. Here it is right there. That is an event that is going to be taking place on April 28th at the Stan Mansion in Chicago. And as you already know, your boy, drum roll please, I'm going to be one of the co-hosts on the main stage. Me and Tracy Randolph. Let me slow down a little bit. We're going to be the main stage MC host duos extraordinaire, and that's going to be one of the greatest, events that in the United States going on that day. So here is the website if you want to grab your. Here you go. It keeps moving. All right, let me go to this one. Here is the website if you want to grab your tickets, just so we can, see you there in person. And like I said, we're going to be taking about 300 students in the Chicago area. We're going to be bringing them out of school and into the Stain Mansion. They're going to be walking the red carpet, taking their pictures. And we have speakers from all over the world coming to encourage these kids and show them, hey, life is literally in the palm of your hand. You are the creator of your reality. You're the captain of your soul, and nobody could ever take that away from you. I don't care if you grew up in Chicago, if you grew up in Camden, if you grew up in Detroit, all of these rough neighborhoods. You have the same abilities and you have the same capabilities of anybody else growing up in the opposite side of town. Where they grew up with a lot of money. None of that stuff really matters. It's not about where you're from. It's about where you're going. So if you wanted to grab your tickets, I just dropped the website for you. I'm going to do it again for you. I'm just going to leave that going on for a while. And also, we're going to be accepting donations as well in the form of gift cards. So I believe there's $10, $5, $10, $20, and, upwards of that, and a few $100 ones as well. So, that's where your money's going to. This money's going to a great cause. You see where your money is going to. And I wouldn't even talk about it on Weekly Dose of Dano, as you guys already know, if I didn't believe in it myself. So, all the money's going straight into the kids' pockets. So, it's not going anywhere into anybody else's pockets. So, that's the website. If you wanted to grab your tickets, it's going to be an amazing event. And I'm really excited. It's this month, actually. It's already April. I was having a discussion with one of my friends last night, and it was like, man, where has the time been going? I just remembered it was already February, but I don't know. I just feel like we're going through like a warp speed. I just feel like everything's so quick. And I wanted to touch on one more thing before we broke off and heard a word from our sponsors. It's right here. There it is. When I said either the salad or the fried chicken, you're able to do both. Oh, my God, we got my guy in the building. See, you want to talk about a brave man right here? The guy, man, you guys already know who we're going to bring on. But I just want to bring up this one point. It's right here. Don't deprive yourself of the fried chicken or the salad. Have both. Now, while I'm not saying you have to make a choice between the two, what I'm saying is that whatever decision that you do make, there are going to be events and outcomes that happen from this decision. So we have the first brave soul of the show coming on today, and you guys have known him. It will be a great event with the host. Y'all already know. Thank you so much, Lou. Always have an attitude of gratitude. Sterling K. Brown, 100%. Now, I'm going to direct my attitude of gratitude to my guy, the brave soul who decided to come on and click that link to come on, Mr. David Vardaman. And you want to talk about symposiums? David Vardaman is right now, he just came off of his busy work schedule. He's actually conducting his own. Maybe he can talk about that. David, when you come on, we're going to be talking about anything that's been going on in your mind. So just come on, man. David, what are you doing back there? David, stop working on the symposium. It's time to come on the show. David, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
Doing amazing. What are you doing today?
Yeah, you get to see my kitchen today.
Awesome. David has been on 2 other times as well. And when I tell you David is a gold mine and a heart of gold and a soul of gold as well, I mean, you're always looking to give back to the community. So go check out those other episodes. And I promise you, your life is going to be changed after watching these episodes with the legend, David Vardaman. So, David, what do you want to talk about today, man?
Well, let's talk about the WE Symposium and all the great work you're doing there.
Oh,
Tell me a little bit about like the goals and what you guys are trying to accomplish, so I can because I'm gonna be there next year, I promise.
Okay. So, David, loving the cat. There you go.
Man, my hair is like pretty bad, so I just threw it.
You know what? I actually want to talk about that too, about hair, because I had a story written down I was going to share with everybody for today, and it has to do with hair. But with the power of WE, man, like I said, we're taking 300 kids, we're bringing them out of the schools just to get out of the classroom setting, taking them in the Stan Mansion, making them feel like celebrities for today. And what I'm going to try to do is help these kids understand that, hey, listen, I grew up in the inner city. I've seen gangs, I've seen violence, I've seen drugs. But none of those things that you can possibly name can limit you to help you understand that, you're not a product of your environment. So it's just about really uplifting the kids and helping them really understand that anything is attainable.
Yeah, because through hard work, everything is attainable, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was last night. I was at University of Maryland, and they were honoring 3 young people under 30, and one was a individual running for Congress up in New York City, and she did not have $2 to herself, but she just wanted to make a difference, and so she got her 250,000 signatures by going door to door and just made it happen for herself. So she's going to be in the nomination pool for the Democratic nomination, I believe, in her district up there. So, and she came from India with her family, and they came with absolutely nothing. So I thought it was really, really interesting and inspiring. And the other lady, she was her house burned down when she was in school, and she ended up being homeless, and she was working really hard, and she just somehow made it through school as an engineer, and then and is now a really, really successful individual. So these were inspiring stories of people overcoming incredible odds and becoming successful. And that was just last night. And it was at the University of Maryland, and just great people. So never think that that you can't make it if you have a focus in terms of what your goal was. One of the third speaker talked about he knew what his why was in life, like in trying to figure out the why, and that's how he expressed his goals. You got to figure out what your why is in order to have a goal that you can begin to work for. So then they all 3 started talking about, well, my why was this, my why was that. So it's sort of amazing when you put great people together that have overcome incredible odds, and how they all have a sort of a common experience in terms of hard work, dedication. But the underlining theme as well, which really was inspiring, was the support of the family. And so they all had this inner core of family and love and all of that, which helped pull them through really dark moments. And so all of it was so consistent with all 3 of them. So that is what I'm saying in terms of people who are overcoming incredible odds and achieving difficult achieving what is society says is a success, and reaching their objectives. And it was really great to see last night. So that was my inspiring moment of the week, and I would just really encourage people to focus in on their why and begin working on towards what is important to them.
Yeah, David, and the amount of things that you do, I really don't think people really can comprehend the type of work that you do and how much you give back on an everyday basis as well. Now, would you be able to talk about two things? Number one, you have your own symposium coming up. I don't know if you're able to really reveal too many details, but after you explain, about your symposium that you're hosting, you need to tell us about your why, because I don't think I've ever asked you, why are you hosting this, or yeah, so talk about that. What's your why behind your endeavors?
So I think right now, like in terms of my family and their focus on national service and helping other people, that's sort of become my driving why in terms of how do I implement all of my successes at work, and how can I combine my work into my social activism, and being able to accomplish that is something that can take a very long time in your career. So don't be hard on yourself as you're going through that journey of trying to figure out how you can implement both your work and your passions together. Because I think the easiest one is like sports, right? Or if you're a physical fitness guy, you can just work out all day and then help other people work out, right? So that's one that you can sort of mesh together. Mine was like, how can I help society in terms of helping our United States veterans, and also mesh that into my work. And I was able to accomplish that through veteran service organizations, and also bringing profit to the business that I belong to. So merging the two together was a great thing that I've done over the last 8 years. But again, it took me all my entire life in terms of building the skill set in order to be able to do that and win over the president and the CEO of the company in order for them to have the trust in me. So it didn't just happen overnight. So I think that's what people need to realize, that, first take care of yourself, figure out what the why is that's important to you in terms of what you want to accomplish right now. And then as time goes on and you come to your conclusion, like you were talking a little bit about spirituality earlier, how you come to your spirituality reality and how you're going to help people, then you can start meshing it in, because the work is not as cumbersome now as it was when you were younger and you were trying to figure it out and become very, very good at it, master it. So this is sort of a journey, and don't be hard on yourself during the journey, because it took me my whole life, and then really was able to accelerate about 8 years ago. And regarding the symposium, I've done it for 5 years, and I did it 5. This is my 5th symposium. COVID knocked it out 2 years, but it just brings the entire community, veterans community, together in a big free event. And the bank and the people I work with, they support me in terms of the financial endeavor of this. But it really ties into the entire military community, not only in Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, but also the nation, and ties together all of the different objectives that we're trying to accomplish together. And this year I have 2 sport figures that were served in Vietnam, and very famous 2 individuals, and I was able to get them in the same room along with a famous admiral, and we're all going to have a great discussion on what they did in Vietnam, how they accomplished these amazing sporting events after their service, and then what did they do on the rest of their life. So the name of the symposium, the theme is a lifetime of service. And so these 2 gentlemen are the epitome of the American dream, as well as serving with the nation in combat. So both of those things together, it's very, very powerful. So that's what I'm trying to do with the veterans in terms of that particular symposium, is just give an opportunity for the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard to come together and have a shared experience in a very safe environment. So it's going to be a wonderful evening, somewhat similar to what you're doing in Chicago, but a little bit different in terms of the audience and the objectives. But community is what it's all about, right? And so this is pulling this community together as you're pulling different communities together in Chicago. And I'm interested in all of it. And that's what really struggles with me, is I want to be everywhere and do all of these things. But you can't. You have to sort of pick and choose somewhat, during your course of your year. But I hope that answers the question in terms of what you're looking for.
Oh, what do you mean? Of course, 100%. That's like, man, you guys just really don't understand right here. David, you're an inspiration to many, many people. You broke it down so simple. Thank you so much, and a lifetime of service, 100%. Now, I feel like a theme that that I'm going to be going to my symposium and the one that you're going to be hosting is the term service, right? And it's all about, it doesn't mean service really given into the military, the way that I take it, for your exact events, it is.
Mhm.
But I want to talk about that term service, right? So I was having a conversation with a girl that I know, and I was trying to get to know her a little bit more. So I was like, hey, like, what are some of your dreams and goals that you want to accomplish in your life? And she goes, well, kind of like, but I think the standard person will say, I really want to make a lot of money and I want to go travel. And, I just want to, that's it. And that's all she stopped at. I want to make a lot of money and I want to travel. I'm thinking, where's the depth and where's the service, like you said? So, David, if there's somebody watching this right now that maybe they don't understand what service really means, how do you help people understand, that it's not just about you, that it's about other people?
Well, I think the greatest gift that you'll ever achieve in life is giving to others, and you'll get twice. That cliche, you get twice as much back as in what you give. And I think when people start doing that, they really see the benefit of it. But I do understand where she's coming from in terms of wanting to. I call it the survival mode. Being in survival mode where you're just focused in on making enough money to have the basics and do what you need to do. And I do think that's really important to work through that in your life in order to have the opportunity to be able to see things more broader and be able to engage in helping others and community service. Most people are not like the lady up in New York City that just gave everything away and just went and tried to get 250,000 signatures in order to qualify to run for Congress, right? So I think that's not the norm. I think it's important, again, not to be hard on yourself when you're going. I think maybe helping that individual that said, all I want to do is make money. What was the two? Make money and
travel.
And travel, yeah, right. So maybe you can like help them and do something with them and maybe do a trip and then throw in some sort of community service event on your trip, and go to a soup kitchen or something and help people. And I think that would maybe open their eyes a little bit in terms of what is important, what really isn't important. And life is a journey in terms of figuring that out for yourself. And it can be very difficult because you have to live in between all of your learning. And the living in between is what tends to get people to say something like that. All I want is money, and all I want is travel. And I want to sit on a beach in Athens and and have a really, really great time. Well, those times will come to you, and you deserve them. But don't forget about the people that are suffering and need help or struggling mentally. I mean, those people need your help as well. So not being selfish is a process and not necessarily something that just pops in like a light switch coming on. It's sort of a process, and becoming good at social and being an activist is a real skill. It's a real learning experience throughout life. It's not something that happens overnight. So you have to start to engage in it, and maybe you need to help maybe that person that just says that and says, well, this is what I'm doing. Would you like to come and see what we're doing?
Yeah.
So I think that everybody is generally a good person. Of course there's some evil in the world and they're bad people. But I think the core amount of people that I am seeing and I'm meeting are really nice people. They're wonderful people. The family members that I met last night were wonderful people. So most people have good hearts and good intentions. It's just they need some guidance sometimes of how to help. I mean, I think there was a big study which showed most people want to help. They just don't know how to do it, and they don't know what to do. That's what I'm saying with the skill set. You become better and better at it. I wasn't very good at it when I started. I was like, and I just got better at it over the last 8 years, and now it just comes natural. Now when I walk in a room, the new real buzzword now I'm learning through like talking to and going to all these lectures and stuff. The new buzzword is imposter syndrome. Have you heard that yet?
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome, yeah.
I mean, I have, but let me just make sure we're on the same page. So explain it.
So imposter syndrome, and I was asked this question. I was like, imposter syndrome, what is that? I was like, I don't know what that is. But imposter syndrome is when you like go into a room and you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel you belong there, but you're in the room anyway, and you're sort of imposturing yourself that I don't really belong with this particular group of people, you know, and it comes a lot with the military, where somebody who just gets out of the military, they're in like a big office meeting and they don't know the protocol or how to act or anything. And they feel like they don't really belong there. And that can create an imposter syndrome effect in them. And I think that is a very common occurrence. But I think people should not have imposter syndrome if they're in the experience, because they've worked hard to get into that experience and they've worked hard to be in that room, right? And feel proud of that. And I remember I was invited to an event, and it was only for admirals, okay? And I somehow got invited. I don't even know how I got invited, but I was in the room and I'm having like crackers and like some water before all these admirals come in. And it was me and 50 admirals. That it was their admiral conference, and so they all came into Washington D.C. So it was me and 50 admirals. I was like, I can't believe it. And then the actual head of all of the Navy comes in, and his name was Admiral Richardson. And he comes in and like he looks at me. He doesn't know why I'm there, and we've met in the past. And then they all came in. But what was really wonderful is about 4 or 5 or 6 of them knew me. And so seeing me was sort of a break from all of their peer interaction. So they all just came up to me and started talking to me and made me feel really comfortable. And all of a sudden I went from totally imposter syndrome. I am not an admiral of the United States Navy. And then I became very comfortable. And then they helped me. So real mentors will help you feel comfortable in awkward situations, and those men really did help me. And I think they were excited to see me, because it gave them a break from, talking to all their peers, and they could just talk to a regular person and have some fun, right? Yeah. So, and they couldn't believe I was there, and they came. And so I overcame the imposter syndrome by having those mentors and helping me feel comfortable and getting me into the groove. And then the admiral did his speech, and it made all sense to me because I studied the military intensely. So I knew what he was talking about and everything. So it was a great experience. But I was in a moment where I had imposter syndrome and overcame it through, all of my interaction and friendships that I have with people in it that were able to come and help me through it. And I think that will happen to you when you go out into the field and you're in an office and you're in a meeting and you don't really feel comfortable. But guess what? There's maybe your mentor or somebody, your boss there. You can sort of just sit next to them and they'll make you feel good. And then off you go. Right. And then the next time you're better, better. Yeah. So these things happen. So the imposter syndrome wording is brand new. It was used last night at the event that I was at. I was like, I can't believe these kids are talking about imposter syndrome. But so if you do hear that term out there, that's what they're talking about. And I really encourage people to just work through it through their own hard work and dedication. And they're in the room because they've worked hard and they deserve it. And that goes through all aspects of society, and race, everything.
And for yourself too. I mean, you said that, well, I'm just a normal guy or a regular person. No, you were meant to be in that room.
Right.
All the great things.
I was invited to be there, and
No, but I think a lot of people do that though. They work so hard and they know that they're confident in themselves and they know what they have to offer. But then when they get put, with a group of other people, we've kind of been conditioned to say, hey, well, maybe my thoughts aren't good enough, or maybe what I have to offer isn't good enough. No. And I'm glad that you were able to recognize that too. You found your value. Your value at that point in time was, as from what the story you just told us, is that everybody was able to come to you and you were everybody's comfort zone or their comfort area. But, you were able to say, hey, well, you know what? I know about myself. I know what I have to offer. And now I'm going to focus on what the good things that I have to offer and what the pleasant reactions are. And one more point that I want to talk about is, when you were talking about the idea of, I just forgot it. Well, you were just saying how, everybody that you met last night was a great family and everybody's good people. But I think that, and I'm going to say this too, because I like to play the yin and yang game.
Okay, go ahead.
All the good things that happen, there's also the negative side as well. I think all of your interactions have been so great because you've come to the realization that everything that you do have to offer and every action that you are going to take is selfless. So in reality, you've been meeting the same people that are at the same vibration as you and the same mindset.
This is true. This is true.
Well, let's just take out the vibration part, that people that you meet, they want to help you as well. Because I know if you might ask somebody on the street that's having a rough day and they think, man, everybody's an a-hole or nobody really wants to help me out, it's because they're projecting that into the world. That's what they're receiving. And for you, you're projecting kindness and, gratitude and everything great, and you're receiving that in return.
Yeah, I think again, it's something that you learn over time. It's not something that just happens, and it's a great gift. And I really encourage people to start slow and you become better and better at it over time. And it's just such a great place to be when you really start engaging and helping all sorts of different elements of society. And as you know, I recently also won a Civil Rights Award for the work that I did for minority children incarcerated throughout the nation. And what that was for was more educating the judges on equal justice under the law. And I've been helping that group for many years. And so they recognized me. And so I was really, really happy about that. But it just shows you that it's not just about the veterans with David Vardaman. It's also, helping different elements of society and recognizing people in need and trying to bring, comfort to those who may have made a mistake or doing things that are maybe not right. Doesn't mean they're bad people. They just need better guidance, right? Yeah. So I think we all have our part to role to play. And if you do it, I never in my wildest imagination thought I would be recognized by this think tank. But they did. And so, good things happen when you're really consistent and you help people over a long period of time, and you'll be recognized when you least expect it. And you never dream that, these things will ever be recognized. And that is the most rewarding moments of your life, is when you get recognized, when you absolutely least expect it.
And I want to touch on the point too, that, you never know when that day's going to be. So
right. And you don't even worry about it. You don't even worry about it. You just continue on. But good things will happen. People do recognize it. And that's what my point is you may not think that anybody sees all your good work. You may not think, but people are saying it and people are recognizing it. And so just continue on and work hard, and both at work and in your volunteerism and your family life, and bring that balance. And I'm working on it every single day.
That's what I'm talking about, David. So we're at the end of the show. Just to let you guys know, that first episode that we've ever had with David Vardaman, it goes exactly in alignment with what you were just talking about. Just keep going, because you never know when that day is going to be, and don't even worry about it. Because David, when we had the first episode, you were saying that was the day that you were just about to quit. And you were just give up, and that's when everything started to turn around for you. So go check out that episode. David, thank you so much for being the first
no problem.
For coming on today, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Next week we have a DJ coming on. DJ Courtesy. He plays around Philadelphia, and he's going to be coming on just to share about all of his stories and experiences as being a DJ. And yeah, so like I said, David, thank you so much for being that brave soul today. I'll see you in May.
I was helping. I was working on my symposium, and then I heard that you wanted somebody to come on. So I said, I'll come on. I'll just put a hat on. I'll come on.
Thank you so much, David.
Right, take care. Thank you.
Thank you, David. I'll see you guys next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano. I hope you enjoyed the content for today. Make sure you share it for everybody that needs to hear this great content, for David's stories, to all of the golden nuggets that he dropped today. And like I said, I can't wait to show you guys next week. I can't wait to have that episode next week, because it's going to be very interesting just to hear about, what goes on in the life of DJ. So I'll see you guys next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano. Have a great weekend. And always remember to focus on the positive and the bright side of things going into the weekend. Peace.